Hi everyone, welcome to Becky's Crafts and Goodies. Today I'm going to show you how to tea dye or to tea stain some ordinary copier paper. Now the same principle can be used with coffee if you wanted to do it, but I wanted to use tea to do mine. Now I did these a few days ago and I think they've come out quite cool, and they're all sort of varying shades. You've got some that are darker, that one probably would have been on the bottom. So I'm going to show you how I made mine. So what you need to start with are some tea bags, obviously, and also some copier paper. Now this is just ordinary A4 copy paper that you can buy from supermarkets, you know, any kind of shop. I got this from the Works. This was £4. I think some supermarkets even sell it a little bit cheaper. So I'm going to grab some of this. How much? I'll just get about that much. And we're going to make some tea. Now I have just an ordinary jug here. And I'm going to put, I think, 5 tea bags in. You can put more in if you want it to be stronger and to look a bit darker. You can put sort of up to 10 maybe. But when I made them, I used 5 and that was absolutely fine. So I'm just going to pour some water in a jug. Where have I gone up to? Around about, I don't know, 500 ml, 600 ml, something like that. It's not exact, so you don't have to be exact doing it. Give your tea a stir round, and then what you want to do is to leave it to kind of stew. I would say leave it for at least 10 minutes, just to allow all the tea to infuse into the water. You can use a little bit more water, you can use a bit less. It really doesn't matter too much. So I'm just going to leave this now, just so it can get a little bit darker, and then we'll do the next stage. Okay, so the tea's been stewing for a while, so I'm going to take out the tea bags in the first instance, and you can actually save them. You might be able to sort of add some more tea bags to it and maybe make some more mixture up. So I'll put the tea bags to one side, and then I'm going to bring in a tray. Now this tray came from Morrison's. You just have to make sure obviously it's oven proof, and also that it's big enough to fit the paper that you're going to put in. So I'm just going to grab a few sheets. I've maybe got 5 to 10 sheets there. You can put them in separately if you want them to be sort of quite an even colour. Sometimes what you can do is get bits that are sort of lighter in the middle if you've sort of stacked the papers together. So it depends what sort of look you're going for. And then all we're going to do is to pour the tea over the top like that, and then I'm going to put a few more sheets in, about the same. Pour some tea over the top again, and obviously the quantity of tea that you're going to make up will depend how many sheets you're going to actually make. I made some paper the other day, so I don't need to make too much. And just pour that over. I might do just a few more. Just pop those on and then push that down. Now what I'm going to do is to leave this paper to soak into the tea for around about 10 minutes or something like that. Okay, depending how dark you want it. So we're just going to leave that. And as I said to you before, if you wanted to do this with coffee, you could do exactly the same thing with coffee. So we'll leave that for now and let it all soak into the paper. Right, after it's been sitting for about 5 to 10 minutes, I think mine's been about 8 minutes or something like that, I'm going to pour the tea into a bowl. And then what you want to do is to get your spoon and just sort of squash out a little bit, so you're getting the tea to come out, and just drain it off. And with the ones left, what we're going to do is to take them out of the tray, because we're going to now dry them. Now if you look, some of them are a bit whiter, obviously where I didn't sort of move them about, and some of them are darker. So this batch we're going to get a real good kind of different effect. If you wanted them to be more kind of rich and sort of a lot more brown looking, then you wouldn't push them in so tightly together. You'd probably put them in, put tea on, put one on the top. So do them sort of one at a time. So we're going to take these out now, and we are going to pop them in the oven to dry them. Now they're absolutely fine to go in the oven, and when they go in they will start and separate. So I've got maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 there. So I'm going to pop those in the tray, put these in the oven, and I've set my oven at 180 degrees. Now while they're in the oven, I'm going to show you another little tip. I've got one of these squeezy kind of bottles, and you can pick these up from loads of different shops. So I'm just going to pour the tea mixture back into the jug, and then we're going to tip some of it into this bottle. And what you can do is you can use this to give yourself a different effect. So say for instance we've got this sheet here. It's a bit kind of speckly, which is quite nice. I've got 2 sheets there, but that won't matter. And you can use your sprayer to spray over the top, and it just gives you like a speckled kind of look. You can also use coffee for this, so you could tea stain the paper, and you could mix up some really strong coffee and just use that and spray that over the top. And I've got one here just to show you that I did, and if you can see, you get like this kind of droplets, and it just looks aged, and it just gives it a different look. Right, so if when you're going through them and you're going to dry them, you find you've got some that are a little bit too pale, when you're just before you put them into the oven to dry them, you can just spritz them in between if you just want to give them a different effect. So we'll dry these and I'll show you how they're coming out of the oven. Right, so this one's about halfway through. It started to dry, and as it dries, it lifts up, so it sort of curls a bit. It's not properly dry, but what I want to do is to show you the one underneath. So you've got this sort of white strip that's running through. If you wanted that look, then keep that. Or what you could do, again, is just spritz a bit of the tea mixture over the top, and then pop it back in, let them dry. You can even take that off and leave it, you know, just mix and match and do it how you see fit. And once they dry, they'll separate, as long as you don't put too many in, you know, just literally a handful, maybe 5 at a time. They'll all separate and they'll start to dry. I'm going to do that for the whole of the batch now, and then I'll show you them when they're finished. Here we go, so they're all done. I'm quite pleased with how they've turned out. You could use the paper for all sorts of things, because they give, you know, you've got all sorts of different effects. Phoebe actually made a wanted poster with one the other day, but as you can see, that looks a little bit crinkly, which I think looks quite nice. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I hope you've inspired you to have a little go at tea dyeing your own paper. If you haven't already subscribed, then please do, and I will see you all again soon. You take care. Bye for now.